Greetings, Abraham, Esther and Jerry.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm enjoying these leading edge conversations and expansion.
Where to?
My pure desire is for further clarity and a feeling of ease on the topic of acquiring or purchasing a beautiful, pristine, native land property offered by my uncles to myself and my siblings. This property means the vision I have is we used to spend time there as children.
So it's unfolding. In other words, it's been in your vortex for a long time, and now the offer has been made. So what thoughts are in the way of that?
The how can I align to help this occur?
There are two different questions that you're asking in that sentence. As we make this clarification, it will help you a lot. I want to align with the idea of this. I want to know what to do or how to do it. That's a different question. And if we can convince you that your work is only to align with the idea of it, and that the how and the where and the when and the who will reveal themselves to you, already have, but you will be in the place that you can receive it. In other words, it's already unfolding. And so don't sweat the small stuff and trip over the details, because when you do that, you're not aligned. So what do you think is most important? To align with the idea of it or to figure out how? Most important question.
Align with
We're
the
going to
idea.
ask it again, not just with this, but we want you all to think about it relative to things that are important to you. What do you think? That thing that matters so much to you. What's more important for you to align with the idea of it, align with the feeling of it, or to figure out how to do it? Because most of you are oriented to not letting yourself align until you've figured out how to do it. Well, can you feel how that slows everything down? All this time that we've spent together, do you get it? That alignment is something that is apart from everything else. When you think about what you want and why you want it, that's so clean and clear and pure. Those are thoughts as pristine as this land is that you are talking about. But when you try to figure out how it's going to come, when it's going to come, who's going to help you, now you're introducing all kinds of resistance into the equation and you're not aligned. You want to get out ahead of it energetically and then let everything else fall into place. Do you believe that it's attraction, attraction, attraction?
Yes.
What should I do? How should I do this? This is not a question that someone who believes in the law of attraction would ever ask. If you really understand attraction, then your question is, what can I do to most be in that feeling place of letting this thing that I want in? And can you feel that if you ask a question that you don't know the answer to, you get all wadded up in it? But when you ask a question that you do know the answer to, it opens circuits. So do you know the answer to the question, how do I align to source? We're asking all of you, do you know the answer to the question, how do I line up with my inner being? Do you know the answer to the question, what should I do about that? You usually don't know the answer to that question. So you want to ask yourself the question that you know the answer to. We jumped right into the middle of your question there because you were asking a contradictory question. I want to align with source and know what action to take. Helpful?
Helpful.
All right, so now from where you now are?
Being in alignment with source, I can see and feel this unfolding.
Is that enough?
Not quite yet.
It's got to be enough. That's got to be enough. You can't demand now to change in order to affect the way you feel. It has to be all right that it's like it is, and you have to find a way to feel the way you want to feel. There's so much going on that you can't control.
I want to know, not just see and feel, but to know.
What about knowing it and then not knowing it, knowing it, then not knowing it, knowing it? Don't you just want to practice the feeling of that alignment?
Yes.
So what gets in the way of that? Is it pleasurable to envision it?
Yes.
Is it pleasurable to doubt it?
No.
So if it's more pleasurable to envision it, then why would you not just envision it?
It makes perfect sense.
It does right now. It does right now because right now you're in alignment. That's just what you do. Much of the world would call you a dreamer or not realistic, but we don't want you to be realistic. The reality right now is that you don't own that property. And the reality right now is that you can't see the route to it. But there's a reality over here that you can feel because your inner being does know the route and is expressing it to you. And as you practice the feeling of that alignment, it will occur to you. It will occur to you. A path will unfold. It is absolute.
It is absolute.
Yeah. So right now, logical people could hear this as lip service because it's words.
There are many in my life, logical people.
Talk to us about it. Get into that feeling place and describe this. Describe what's in the vortex as best as you can know it from where you stand.
I feel the land under my feet. I feel the ocean, swimming in the ocean, the connection to the land. For my family's enjoyment, to breathe, inhale.
All right, so right now, these words are triggering what is in relationship to what you want. In other words, the words aren't making you feel better. We want them to, but the words aren't making you feel any better. The words are sort of aggravating. And so you want to step back into a more general place and find some words that make you feel better. So how do you feel about your inner being?
How do I feel about my inner being?
Yeah.
I love to connect with my inner being more often. I love the feeling of my inner being. It brings me joy and love to feel uplifted when I think of being with my inner being.
But can you feel how even in those answers, and it's all right, that those answers are future tense. I love to be connected, not I am connected. I'm looking forward to be connected, not that I am. Can you step over into that? Can you step far enough away from this situation that has you doubting into situations or a mindset that makes you believe? Do you believe in the existence of the non-physical part of you?
Yes.
Do you accept that you are an extension of that?
Yes.
Does it make sense to you that through life that you have created a vibrational atmosphere that is all about you, it's unfolding just for you, that your inner being is focused upon? Do you believe that?
I do.
So even more than you believe it, you know it. We could feel that in your response. You know that. So is it logical to you? Does your knowledge extend in this way? Is it logical to you that through your awareness of this property and your appreciation of this property, that over time, in fact, much of your lifetime, you have put that into your vortex too? Is it logical that this land has been factored in and that your inner being has been and is considering it even now?
Yes.
And so if your inner being has awareness of it, and if the law of attraction is responding predominantly to your inner being who has only pure positive thoughts, isn't it so logical that your inner being has been addressing this for a long time, that there's a lot of momentum that is happening about this? Is
Yes.
that logical to you?
Yes,
And
it
is it also logical to you that the offering of those people, those relatives, has been inspired by that? In other words, isn't it logical that the fact that this is even a conversation that is out in the open, that is turned to things, isn't that evidence of the power of this attraction?
Yes, it
Isn't
is.
that a reason to know that it is unfolding rather than hope that it will unfold?
Yes,
Doesn't
it
that
is.
mean that it is unfolding?
It does. As my uncle has offered it only to my sisters, my siblings and I, when he may have had an opportunity to offer it to many, many other people and
Well,
other
it's
family
not in
members.
everybody else's vortex. It's in your vortex. In other words, you're the ones who have been calling it to you. It's your inner beings that are all over this. It's yours to receive. It's already been revealed. It's yours to allow yourself to see. And can you feel how, since creation is about the process of creation, and that exhilaration is about the process. It's about the wanting and realizing that you're not lined up, or it's about the wanting and the getting into closer and closer alignment. It's about the feeling of coming into alignment. The subject of creation exists only so that you can experience the process of it. And isn't there evidence all over the place that this is unfolding because it is a vibrational reality that is in the process of unfolding for you? And as we speak it to you like that, is there any room for any doubt whatsoever in this equation?
Not at all.
So the doubt is illogical. It's completely illogical, and right now you know that.
I know
right
that.
now you have calibrated completely, entirely, with no resistant thought whatsoever to what you are wanting. And you don't have to explain anything to anybody. Your inner being isn't asking for a resume. Your inner being isn't asking for you to do anything different than you are doing. Everything is unfolding perfectly, and can't you feel the exhilaration of that?
Right now,
And
yes.
this is the most important question that anyone will ever ask you. Hasn't the journey from doubt into knowing been so delicious?
Yes.
Hasn't this evolution of thoughts turning to things, even before the actual sale has been made and accomplished and you've moved on to the property, hasn't this been significant?
Yes.
And when you reach the place that this movement here in the movement of energy is as delicious as this one, and that this one is delicious as this one, and this one and this one, and this one is delicious as this one, and this one is this one, and it doesn't need to be the bursting onto the manifested scene, because isn't this improvement in the way you feel a manifestation too? Isn't clarity instead of confusion a manifestation too?
Yes, and the journey.
Enjoying the journey. Enjoying the journey. And enjoying the journey is not a safeguard against. We're speaking to our previous questioner. Enjoying the journey isn't what you say because you're trying to cover up your fear of failure. They're two very different things. I enjoy the journey because I'll never get to the destination. No! I'm enjoying the journey because the destination is certain. And how do you know the destination is certain? Because your inner being knows it. Your inner being's already standing there in the full manifestation of what you are asking for. Is this helpful?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you feel different?
Shifted.
Really good. Enough?
Enough.
Really good.
Thank you.
Really good. Really good. You feel the movement into that vortex? This is leading edge conversation, isn't it? You are translating vibrations into realities. It's shifting your relationship with everything in your vortex. These are important conversations.